Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the number one source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I'm your host. Beautiful people, Goldilocks is sharing today some latest information regarding Iraq and the World Trade Organization. We do know that the Iraqi dinar needs to be international in order for an official revaluation of the dinar. The expectant World Trade Organization accession is the key component. One of the key components. Goldilocks shares what those steps are that Iraq needs to achieve. Then Goldilocks shares some other very important information regarding all the other currencies, which many of you hold. Let's jump right into what Goldilocks is sharing today. It states Iraq's path to full World Trade Organization membership, remaining steps to accession. This is directly from the World Trade Organization, stating as of January 2026, Iraq has made notable progress towards joining the World Trade Organization, with its accession process resuming momentum after a long hiatus. Meaning, folks, that Iraq applied for membership, believe it or not, into the WTO back in 2004. Yes, almost 22 years ago. And its working party was established that year. The third formal meeting of the working party occurred in July 2024. So pause. A lot of people don't even realize, and maybe under the assumption that Iraq's move to become a full member of the World Trade Organization was recent. No. Iraq began this process in 2004. We are just now getting to the point with so many of the changes that have occurred in Iraq and the global financial system. They are now at the final steps. The third formal meeting of the fourth working party was, like I said, in July 2024. At that time, it was 16 years. Iraq has already achieved, and this is from the World Trade Organization, publicly stating Iraq has already achieved several key milestones, including submitting initial market access offers on goods and services. Folks, I'm going to explain this. This is where we get to the Iraqi dinar and a rate in the international markets that are justified. Market access. The dinar will eventually be open to the open market and have market access, meaning the global financial markets would be able to trade the dinar. But the Central Bank of Iraq will set the rate. Think of the Central Bank of Iraq setting the rate of the dinar at the revalued rate, but the full market access of the dinar as the anchor, the supporting mechanism, the backing of the dinar, along with Basel III and gold, to help sustain the new rate. See, Iraq has presented a revised memorandum on foreign trade regime. Remember, for those that may not know, Goldilocks has always said the revaluation of currencies will happen on the water. Through what? Trade. Trade of goods and services on the water, folks, is where currencies move in the trillions. So what Goldilocks is showing, and this is directly from the World Trade Organization, they submitted an agreement for foreign trade within the World Trade Organization. Iraq has also advanced their legislative reforms in areas like customs, custom valuations, technical standards. The government of Iraq has also unified tariff rates that Trump has enacted across all federal Iraq and Kurdistan regions, addressing a major consistency issue in Iraq's trade reforms. Trade is where the dinar will revalue. Reforms related to dollar transaction restrictions, such as measures to dump the US dollar and channel more trade through formal banking channels, support a broader efforts to enhance transparency and regulatory alignment, which are essential for World Trade Organization compliance. Goldilocks shows, however, there are several critical steps remaining before Iraq can complete accession and become a full member of the World Trade Organization. The process requires a consensus among all existing World Trade Organization members on Iraq's term of entry into the WTO. I'm going to repeat that so you understand the process. All WTO members must agree and accept the terms of Iraq to gain entry into the WTO. There are 180 plus members because there's 180 plus countries. And don't worry, it's expected that many of these countries would love to have Iraq and the dinar completely accessible within all of their countries through the World Trade Organization. These are the key outstanding requirements that Iraq must meet to gain full accession. Number one, there's actually 5. Number 1, intensifying bilateral negotiations. Iraq must continue their negotiations with the World Trade Organization for market access, so that the dinar can be accessed around the world. Number 2, refining and updating legislative action plan. This is an actual plan that Iraq and the World Trade Organization are working on together. They must provide their replies, that's number 3, detailed replies to the legislative action plan, revising key documents such as their trade documents, their trade agreements, and last but not least, deepening their capacity building, meaning through technical assistance, and Iraq must continue to allow the World Trade Organization to provide them with technical assistance in order to meet the requirements for full accession. The chair of the working party. This is actually Saudi Arabia is the chair of the working party that is actually sponsoring Iraq. That's right. Saudi Arabia is sponsoring Iraq to gain full accession into the World Trade Organization. As of early 2026, no fourth working party meeting has been confirmed just yet. However, little birdie has allowed the Goldilocks team to know that there are some talks happening with the World Trade Organization in Iraq. So once bilateral negotiations conclude successfully, they will come back to the table with the World Trade Organization, and the working party will draft and adopt and report the terms of their accession, which also must then be approved by the General Counsel, which is the attorneys for the World Trade Organization. Iraq should subsequently accept the Protocol of Exception, and it takes 30 days after that where they gain full accession. These reforms include those that address currency transaction restrictions, because right now the dinar is restricted, and this is key for global trade, for it to be unrestricted. Once they gain full accession, which is expected, so I should say more concretely, if they gain full accession, there will be no restrictions on the Iraqi dinar within the World Trade Organization, which means the globe. All of this ties into also what's occurring right now with geopolitical tensions in trade and currency markets. As of this month, January, the world is navigating heightened geopolitical tensions that I'm sure many of you are paying attention to. In the Middle East, Ukraine, Sudan, and now Venezuela. Don't forget, Iran, Goldilocks is sharing as well. These strains, combined with U.S. protectionist policies under President Trump, including widespread tariffs, are accelerating global alliances and trade patterns that ultimately draw the line in the sand for currency markets to move. Experts describe 2026 as a tipping point. A tipping point year marked by great uncertainty where traditional Western-led alliances are under pressure. The U.S. is recalibrating its global role and its global role with currencies. New alliances are emerging as emerging markets are also emerging. Think of it as, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago, 2026 as a new beginning. A new beginning for currencies and a new beginning for all of us. These alignments, these realignments around the world with countries will have a profound effect on currency exchange rates. Geopolitical risks historically increase volatility with currencies. Safe haven currencies like the US dollar is no longer safe anymore. It's gold. It's silver. Have you noticed the price of silver lately? So in summary, Goldilocks is stating that the current tensions around the world will have a profound effect on global currencies. And they are catalyzing a more fragmented but adaptive global landscape with new alliances, rewired for trade flows, which affects the stability of the currencies from which many of us hold. The tariffs are reshaping global economic flows. Already, now that we're in 2026, escalating trade tariffs have now gotten underway. Supply chains where currencies are Embedded every day in the trillions, these supply chains are taking new shape and new routes. The tensions in the global markets amongst countries, Vietnam, India, Mexico, Malaysia, Venezuela, so forth and so on, all have a direct impact on every other currency. It's the ripple effect. And the rise of digital payment systems that Goldilocks is speaking of in trade is what provides the certainty and accuracy of new currency exchange rates. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the time to allow yourselves to have so much anxiety and doubt. God has not allowed you to get this far to lose your faith. Stay grounded, stay focused. Folks, it is actually the best time is now. There are things that Goldilocks is showing and Goldilocks sees in the global financial systems. And Goldilocks has some more of which will be shared in the next few days. Rest your laurels and your faith on what is to come. You have the facts that will continuously be brought to you every day. All you have to do, plant your stake on facts and truth. It will continue. We will continue to bring it to you. Be well, be kind. We love you, folks. Ciao.
Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.